Hey, we are at Genesis' booth here at Goals, and he's going to run us through some of these shotguns. We've been out with these shotguns before on a range day event, and they run like no other. You see a lot of cheaper magazine-fed shotguns on the market, and this is definitely not that. Okay, we're talking American-made, and this is going to be a lifetime gun if you get one. These things just blew my mind away with us coming from an AR-15, standpoint, and building AR-15s out. To see this, I was not familiar with them. So we're going to turn it over to JR, and he's going to walk us through some of this stuff. So JR, pleasure to meet you, sir.
Yeah, pleasure to meet you too.
Tell us what you got here. Show us some of this.
So magazine-fed shotguns.
Yes.
Cool in theory, not cool when they don't run, right?
Yeah, right. That's the big issue.
It is the big issue. They look cool, but they're ammunition dependent. Reliability is a big thing, which is why you don't see anything, adopted by the U.S. military or federally or anything like that. Well, we fixed the reliability issue. One, it's built off an AR-10 DPMS lower.
Nice.
Which is amazing. Obviously, we massaged the internals to take our proprietary magazines, but already, right off the bat, manual of arms is exactly the same as an AR.
That's what brings home to me. And if somebody gets into this and they're familiar with ARs, right, they're going to know how to operate it. And maybe even work on it a little bit too.
100%, yeah. It breaks apart just like an AR. When you pull the bolt out, it's very similar to an AR-10 bolt. So everything is there. So AR trigger, AR grip. When you go with the full traditional buttstock, AR buttstock. So all that stuff is interchangeable. As long as the trigger holds up, because it's still a 12 gauge. As long as it holds up, you can switch it out and it'll run. So let's talk about the reliability that we talked about.
That's what's big with you guys.
100%. So pretty much if the round fits in our magazine and you get a little bounce after you load it, it's going to feed it.
Okay.
So birdshot, buckshot, slugs, high brass, low brass, everything from the cheapest stuff at Walmart that's like 1150 or less feet per second, all the way up to 1600 feet per second, feeds it all.
Cool.
Gun chews on everything. So how we're able to do that, first we chased down reliability when we were developing this system. How can we make a magazine-fed shotgun that has the right manual of arms but can feed everything on the planet? So instead of gas,
we're talking,
and it's not inertia driven.
Okay.
And it's not a blowback.
Whoa.
So it's a short recoil system, much like a Barrett.
Okay, that makes sense.
That's what gave us the reliability. So out here is a fixed bushing.
Yes.
So this doesn't move. There's a free floating barrel inside the bushing. That's what's actually reciprocating about 1/4 of an inch.
Okay.
So that gave us the reliability.
Yeah, less to break, less
to break,
to have a malfunction.
And it feeds everything. Yeah. However, it still felt like a shotgun. It still bucked like a mule.
Oh.
So what can we do to, one, help with the timing? Because it was cycling crazy fast. We wanted to slow it down just a hair. We want the timing correct. But more importantly, what can we do to mitigate some of that recoil?
Yes.
Okay, so we can have faster follow-up shots, less dot movement, not just for competition guys, but obviously in real-world situations. If you can make it predictable like an AR, then it becomes a primary system. So we developed what we call the VIBE, stands for Variable Inertia Brake. It's a system that we developed underneath the handguard here that absorbs some of that recoil, gives the bolt a kinetic delay into the buffer system.
So I've shot these at that range day, and I'm sitting there like, man, this is going to be crazy. Obviously, I'm a smaller frame guy, right? So
Same.
I'm like, here we go. Here it comes. We're going to do it. But you shoot it, and honestly, it's not much different than shooting like a regular AR-15.
It feels
it's
like
really
a gas AR-10.
Yeah.
So we're guesstimating it's about up to a 40% decrease in felt recoil versus traditional 12 gauges. Okay. So even the softest shooting 12 gauge that you shot before, you're going to feel a significant reduction in felt recoil.
So you're having good feedback on these commercially, right?
Yes, we are.
So with the civilian market, you've got people who are using these probably for home defense, right?
Yes.
Probably truck guns, even a truck gun, right? And then you've got the movie aspect. People are going to recognize these from
John Wick.
John Wick.
So John Wick 4 is where commercially we made a huge splash. I mean, you see the aerial scene, shooting the dragon's breath, feeding all the magazines, crazy fast, crazy reliable. I mean, that gun was basically just blanked for movie purposes, but ran just as reliable as it does in real life. So that is what made the splash. We are also the only magazine-fed shotgun on the planet that is federally adopted.
Nice. Yeah, you guys do a lot of that stuff
yes,
too.
Yes, we do. Huge in the government workspace. I mean, you name the acronym, we've sold guns to them. Obviously, we're huge overseas with anti-drone and all of that stuff going on. That's because there's two things in the world that terrify me, flamethrowers and drones. So we have to have a solution. And this is definitely a solution.
It's crazy how trench warfare has came back, right? A call from the past in warfare. And then now we've got to look up to the skies because we've got drones. It's crazy how that works.
So we're also proving that as long as you have a good platform and quality ammunition, barrel length doesn't matter anymore.
Right.
So this is one of our 5-inch suppressed. So Huxworks makes the suppressor for us exclusively.
Cool.
And it is built solid. So we did full auto testing on these cans.
Wow.
We did 10,000 rounds of birdshot, buckshot, slugs, 10,000 of each, and we have yet to break the can. So these things just last.
Yeah, so when we were at the range, it was at Troy, and at the range day with them, and these things were running flawlessly. I never saw a malfunction, and most of them I think were suppressed. And it was just, the sound that it makes shooting, it's like it's almost hard to explain, but it's just so soft and manageable.
It is.
So, well, thank you for having us out. Is there anything else you want to throw in here about these? Because we're going to be a dealer.
Yeah, no, I know. So let me give you a few more nerd points if you don't mind.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So our federally adopted breacher is a 7-inch gun with just a blast deflector and no butt stock. It's just got the short buffer tube. It's a dedicated breacher. That breacher is actually what inspired these 5-inch models.
Nice.
So thanks to our partnership with Huxworks, we were able to develop this can and put it on a 5-inch barrel. So basically what the can does is it takes 60% of that blast and concussion and throws it downrange.
So you're pushing that cone forward.
Yes, so it actually makes this pleasant to shoot. I mean, can you imagine shooting a 5-inch barrel shotgun without anything on there?
Yeah, it would be behind you.
It would suck. And not suck in a fun way.
No.
So that we had some agencies that wanted to be able to breach, but then also use this as a primary. So now, fully collapsed with this PDW stock, this is 26 inches overall length. So now you can breach, and then you can deploy the stock and go to work, and it's a primary. So it becomes kind of a one-size-fits-all shotgun. And as far as accuracy with spread, this 5-inch barrel with the suppressor, with federal flight control, we're getting the same spread patterns that you would out of an 18-inch barrel.
You're kidding.
And we have that on paper to prove it.
Wow.
So quality platform, quality ammunition, barrel length doesn't matter when it comes to shotguns. Now, yes, are you losing some velocity? Sure. But when it comes to shotguns, it's spread pattern that matters way more than that small velocity
And the
loss.
use case that you're probably going to use this in, whether commercially or professionally, is going to be fairly specific, like you said.
Yes,
so
it is.
I think it's overall.
And you said you shot ours in machine guns, so we turned them into machine guns to show off the reliability, right?
crazy.
Oh, our guns are super reliable. They'll feed anything. Cool story. Well, then we turned them full auto.
Make it go fast.
The cyclical rate is about 850 to 900 rounds a minute, so we're dumping a 10-round mag in less than a second. And as far as reliability goes, I had numerous shotguns out at the Staccato Range Day at SHOT Show. Yeah. We dumped 6,500 rounds downrange that day, and I only had 4 guns to play with, and not a single malfunction.
I've got the hard question for you.
Go.
You ready? What would you say, as it stands right now, what is the biggest point of, not necessarily failure, but the first issue that comes up, right, with hard use? And I know these things will run hard for a long time. Mm-hmm. What would you say to look out for with these?
Honestly, the platform runs just fine. As long as the only time I see anything kind of go down is when you load the magazines in properly, just like any platform. I would say be careful what optics you pick. Because I said it shoots softer, it shoots reliable. I mean, everything's great, but it's still a shotgun. There's still a lot of violence going on here. So we have found that EOTechs hold up the best on our guns. Long term, we haven't seen them go down. We've broken most everything else. So I would say pick your optic wisely when you pick the shotgun. Buy once, cry once.
Well, exactly. That's the thing we see a lot too, and we try to pass that on to our people that come to us when we do builds of anything. Is hey, make sure you're getting good glass too. Make sure you're getting good optics or whatever it may be, because that's just as important almost as the gun. You don't want that going down on you in the
100%.
middle, because when you need it, you're going to need it, and you don't need it to break. And Murphy's laws always apply. So that's so awesome.
But we have a lot of versatility on it. Every gun commercially comes with a 5-round magazine. We also have a 10-round magazine, and then we do a 15-round drum magazine as well.
A drum.
And all of them keep up with the cyclical rate. I shoot professionally, and this is the only shotgun I can't outrun.
Yeah.
So
you got these in the competition space?
Yeah. So we have varying lengths. So we have the 5-inch with the suppressor. You can add the suppressor onto basically any other length except 18. But we do 5, 7, 10.5, 13, and 18. And right now our 3-gun models are the 18-inch versions with a mid-barrel comp. But we're working on some other stuff to kind of reduce barrel length, but keep reliability up and have the adaptability of a choke plus a brake. That's some inside info that you guys will be seeing here in the near future.
We'll look out for it. So what model would you suggest us to have in a rural area in a storefront? What model would you suggest?
Commercially, 3-to-1, we sell the 5-inch PDS 3-to-1, and it does very well. In all black, obviously we can do various colors. Our paint guy's a stud. So however you want to customize it to look, we can do that. But the 5-inch PDS I sell 3-to-1, and they just kind of move all day long. Now in our 5 and 7-inch model, you have the option of doing the one position PDS, so you can collapse it, make it a backpack gun, single position deploy. Or you can go with traditional AR buttstocks on any of the short platforms as well as the longer platforms. So you have more adjustability on kind of dialing it in.
Yeah.
But felt recoil wise, I mean, it's all these guns feel about the same. It's all the same technology.
And
they all feel
I
nice.
feel like all that's coming from that technology you've poured into that system.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
And of course, to help make it reliable as well, the magazine that we developed and built in-house, there's actually more patents and IP on the magazine than anything else.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
a big
hard. It's
part.
hard enough to make a system, but the heart of the system needs to run.
Yeah.
So we're big on the reliability there. The things they just have to run at the end of the day. And every gun that we build for government or feds, they're the same guns that we build for the public. All our bolts are full auto rated. They're the same guns coming off the line. So we're building life-saving tools, not just for the professional, but for everyday.
And for anybody who's skeptical, you guys hold a warranty?
Yes, we do.
Yeah. So if you're on the fence about it, if something does go wrong, which doesn't sound like it will, these guys are going to honor that, and I do think that's true from what I've heard. Yeah,
it's really important. I mean,
customer service.
Things happen. Sometimes it's user failure. They loaded the magazine wrong. Now things are kind of wonky. We still take it back and fix it. Not just say, hey, shake your finger. You should have known better.
Right, go away.
It's like, no, we want people to be happy. These aren't the cheapest things in the world. I mean, everything's U.S. made and manufactured, so that drives up the price. Our guns start at about $3,000 and top out at around $5,000, depending on configuration of can or no can. So yes, it is a heavy investment, but you're not just buying your grandfather's shotgun, you're buying a primary combat
that's something
shotgun.
too that you can pass down. That's the great thing about firearms is, you can pass that down to future generations and the knowledge that comes with it. It's kind of like buying a car, People a lot of times don't cheap out when they buy a car. So if that's something you're going to get into, this is probably where to get into it at. So thanks for having us, man.
Appreciate it.
We're going to
Thanks
get
for
on
stopping by.
and we'll find some other cool stuff for you guys. See you there. Hey guys, we are at Lima Six's booth here at Goals, and we are going to do a little quick overview of what they've got and how it fits into the AR space, and also too what we do, because we're going to try to be a dealer with these guys and bring some of this back home with us, so we can build off this platform and get it out to folks who need it and want it, because this is something that most folks aren't familiar with. So he's going to run us through some of the basics and the lesser known facts, and we're going to talk about it. So without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to RV. Good to meet you, sir. It's been a pleasure talking with you a little bit. So tell us about you guys.
So this is an affordable belt fed. We've been wanting to do this for a long time, and we want to make a belt fed that anyone can afford, working class Americans, without making it cheap. So we wanted to make sure everything is made out of good materials. It's all made in the USA. One of the ways that we made this more affordable is by eliminating some of the features of the other belt feds on the market, instead of reducing the quality. So like, for example, it is a fixed barrel. It's not a QD barrel.
Yes.
And it does not feed for magazines. It's belt fed only.
Okay.
But like I said, we're using all US materials. Good materials, we have 7075 T6, aluminum top cover and upper receiver. Everything's type 3 hard coat anodized.
So it's tough.
It is tough. It'll take a lot of abuse. Right now we have a couple different uppers out here. Our main upper that we sell actually is on the tripod over there. That is an 18-inch upper receiver in 5.56. We are coming out with some shorter ones. So this is a 12.5 that's going to be available in the next couple of months. Basically the same thing, it's just shorter, has a shorter gas system and a shorter barrel. We have over here also is pretty cool. We work with a company called Red Right Hands. They have this ridiculous heat sink system on here. A lot of people get concerned about the heat of a belt fed, rightfully so. And some people are concerned about the fact that there's no QD barrel. Well, this answers that question. This heat sink system on here is so good that it negates the need for a QD barrel. And even better than having a QD barrel, you get accuracy. So,
Yeah.
you know,
You
like on an
maintain
M2.
that accuracy in there.
Absolutely, yeah. Like an M249 saw with that QD barrel in there, you need to have some slop, you know, to allow for expansion and contraction of the barrel. So you're looking at like 8 or 10 MOA gun. This gun shoots 1.5 MOA.
Wow. So with with this system, most of the civilian world's not used to this unless you're prior military or something like that, right?
Exactly,
So
yeah.
can you just real quick, can you kind of explain the concept for if these become more popular, right? And safety, we want to make sure everybody's safe. Can you explain about like cook-offs and different things like that?
Yeah, great
That's
question.
Less familiar
So,
topics.
so these are closed bolt firearms. We are restricted. The whole industry basically is restricted by the ATF. It's pretty much impossible to come out with an open bolt firearm that is civilian legal. So we pretty much are locked into closed bolt. And when the barrel gets really, really hot after shooting as little as 200 rounds on any platform, whether it's a belt fed or magazine fed, once you get around that 200 round mark, even with a heavy barrel, you're at risk of cook-offs.
Yes.
Which basically, if you're shooting, you shoot a bunch of rounds, stop shooting, you have a round that's just sitting in the chamber, you wait a couple of minutes, that round could go off.
And we've seen we've seen that with
Yeah.
some of these different products that have come out. Some people have shown example of that, and I think that's a very important thing. And
Absolutely,
we're all
yeah.
about education, right? With a
Yeah.
little bit of entertainment in there, and
Yeah.
that's a really good talking point. So, what would you suggest for somebody who's wanting to get into this? Hopefully we become a dealer with you. Sounds like we are. If somebody's going to do like the builder kit, right?
Yeah, we have that over here.
Yeah. What would you suggest them to start with? What product do you have? Like, what's the
So the build kit is right here. It basically comes with everything besides the barrel, the handguard, and the gas system.
Okay.
So you buy everything else from us. That's, like I said, about $2,000. And then you can use any AR-15 barrel. Well, you have 3 options for the barrel, right?
Yeah.
So we use modified AR-15 barrels. So you can get a dedicated Lima 6 barrel from us that just drops in.
Probably the way to go. I
It's
would
a lot
say.
easier.
Yeah.
But if you have a particular AR-15 barrel that you really like, you really want to use, you have 2 options for that. We do have a barrel drilling kit. So this is just a jig
Yeah.
that goes on your existing barrel. It shows you where to drill the hole for
Right.
your new gas port. Or you can also send your barrel to us, and for $25, we will modify it for you.
Pretty sweet deal.
Yeah,
Pretty sweet
it's-
deal. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like it's a little too cheap, to be honest. But
well-
we're not trying to make money on
Yeah.
barrels. We're not trying to make money on gunsmithing services. We're just trying to get more belt felts out
That's
there.
like
So-
us, man. When we bring people into our shop or talk to them on the phone or whatever, we try to make sure that they get what they need, and there's no sense in in this industry, I guess price gouging or whatever. Just
Exactly,
give people
yeah.
what they need, and they'll come back to you, and they'll treat you right. If you treat
Exactly.
them right, they'll treat you right.
Yeah.
And I love to hear that from you guys. I've heard all great things about you.
Thank you.
And I hope we do a lot more work together and cook up some really cool stuff, in the future. Thanks for having us over here at the booth. You
Absolutely.
got anything else?
No, I mean, just I guess touching on, you talked about the price point. Like, we want to make this as affordable as possible and keep it affordable.
Yeah.
So, like right now, the build kits are $2,000, the complete uppers are $3,000, and we don't have any immediate intent to raise that price.
Well, I
So-
know, things may change in the future,
Of
obviously
course,
the economy
yeah.
and stuff. So if anybody wants to learn more about you guys or look you guys up, Instagram, what's your go-to social
Yeah,
media?
so we're pretty much everywhere on social media, except we don't really go on Facebook, but we're active on X, we're on Instagram, YouTube, and of course our website, lima6.com, all
Gotcha.
spelled out, LIMASIX.com.
Gotcha. I love
So-
the name. The name's
Thank
just,
you.
It's
So,
just, it's catchy.
do you know about the name, the
No.
story behind that?
No.
Okay, so I used to work with my father. He had a radio business, and I worked with him for like 10 years. He unfortunately passed away a couple years ago. Thank you. And I took over his business, but I wanted to turn it into something else. So I ended up taking the radio business, and I turned it into this belt-fed business.
Wow, cool.
Now, the reason why it's called Lima 6 is because my dad was a pilot, and his hangar number was L6. So it's named after
Well,
him.
Eleanor Armory. Eleanor's my daughter, so
Oh, awesome.
we're going to continue to create legacy and pass that
Perfect.
on. So I respect
love
that,
it, man.
I really do.
Thank you
That's
very
cool.
much.
That's
Appreciate
cool.
your time.
Well, guys, we're going to get back to the rest of the show and go check out some more booths, and we'll have some more stuff coming from them and plenty of close-ups of some of their stuff. So thank you guys, and we'll see you soon.